What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Packers Everywhere podcast. You guys really seem to enjoy my first episode of ranking NFL criminals on a tier list. First off, thank you for your support. You guys have very much earned this part too. And I know what you guys may be thinking. You already know who the worst of the worst are, but it may not be exactly who you're thinking about. There's a few guys that I didn't even know existed on this list, and if you knew they existed, well, you definitely know ball. I definitely learned a thing or two making this video, and I hope you guys learned a thing or two while watching this video. All that being said, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you guys enjoy NFL content. That's almost all I do. That's enough plugging for now. Let's get right on to the video. All right, we got our tier list right here. The tiers are as follows: innocent, can't prove it, he did it, CTE demons, and worse than Epstein. We're gonna start things off with somebody from recent memory that I think a lot of people actually know about, and his name is Henry Ruggs. Don't worry, folks, if there's somebody you want me to put in the tier list, we can definitely, there are a plethora of NFL criminals to make a part 3, so make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys want to see a part 3. If we get, let's say, 25 likes on this video, I will do a part 3. Now, for those of you who don't know who Henry Ruggs is, he's actually currently serving a sentence in jail. I think he gets out either this year or in 2027, if I'm not mistaken. What happened is there was one night he was having a little too much fun. He was drinking with his friends. He made the fatal mistake of drinking and driving. As you guys may know, you guys should just never ever do this. He was going, I think, 250 miles per hour down the freeway, and he accidentally killed a woman and her dog in the process, and he's now currently serving a sentence for manslaughter. Henry Ruggs, I'm gonna just put him in he did it. Obviously, we can prove it because he's serving a sentence in jail. He's not a CTE demon, because I don't think CTE had a lot to do with it. In fact, I think he's pretty, from what we know about him, okay in the head. I think what his problem was is that he made a really bad decision and his life took a turn for the worst. It serves as an unfortunate reminder that you should always be responsible, even when you're out partying and having fun, folks. We've got another fan favorite. We've got Michael Vick. Now, if you guys don't know who Michael Vick is, just know that he's got that dog in him. Okay, all jokes aside, Michael Vick was a superstar quarterback in the NFL for the Falcons. He was arrested. I don't know specifically what those charges were. I'm sure it was animal abuse and some shit, but it landed him 2 years in jail. And obviously they did prove that he did it, so he's not going and can't prove it, and he's certainly not innocent. However, he did make a comeback, and yeah, he played many years after that for the Eagles. And it's kind of interesting that a superstar quarterback in the NFL would do such a thing as just have a dogfighting ring. So obviously I think he's also gonna go in the he did it, maybe CTE demon category, but I think he's going right in the he did it, right next to Mr. Henry Ruggs over here. I think they're quite similar in terms of the results and in terms of the gravity of what they did, although I think what Henry Ruggs did is actually probably a lot worse. I mean, unfortunately they both involve killing a dog, which I love animals. That's just terrible in general, but obviously killing a person is even worse. I'm not going to say that that's not worse. All in all, they both did it. They are both very much guilty so far. Next up, we're going to have Justin Tucker. I guess probably not one of the worst NFL criminals of all time, but I definitely wanted to include him in the part 2. He was accused similarly to Mr. Deshaun Watson, who I covered in the part 1 of this video. He was accused by, I think, 2 or 3 masseuses, not 26 at least, but 2 or 3 masseuses of sexual misconduct during their sessions in whatever massage parlors they were at. Unfortunately, because it was only 2 or 3, I think it was settled in a civil court. Kind of Watson was also settled in a civil court, but I think the 26 allegations definitely makes him more guilty than innocent. So for Justin Tucker, I'm actually going to say that obviously he's not innocent, but I'm going to say that we can't prove it, because at the end of the day, it is a he said, she said situation, and we may never know what really happened 2 or 3 people could be lying and colluding against Justin Tucker. Next up, we're going to talk about somebody that I had never heard of before I made this video. I don't know if you guys did, but maybe I'm a casual and I don't know ball, but we're going to be talking about Ray Carruth. Now, I'm getting this information from a Bleacher Report article. It'll be linked in the description if you guys want to read, along with a couple of these other people that I'm getting information from. I had to do a little bit of research, like I said, to make this video. But the story with Mr. Ray Carruth over here was that his girlfriend was caught up in a drive-by while carrying their baby nonetheless. And she described to dispatchers, Carruth got out of his car and pulled up, and she recognized Carruth's car, put his foot on her head, and shot her. There were also a couple assailants that aided with this. The story's a little bit confusing to read. However, he was sentenced to 18 to 24 years for this. Judging based off of everything, we certainly can't put it and can't prove it. It's definitely a he did it or CTE demon situation. We don't know a lot about Ray Carruth. I do almost want to put him in CTE demon. He could be a candidate actually for worse than Epstein, but there's a couple people that I think I'm going to reserve for worse than Epstein. That's quite a unique tier. I think for this one, we're going to have yet another he did it, and I might reevaluate later in the video, but just for now, I'm going to put him in he did it. Now, next up, I guess a fan favorite, personal favorite. Don't know if favorite's the right word for him, but we got Massage Diddy Watson himself, the man, the myth, the legend in the flesh. Whoa, in the flesh. Whoa, maybe not in the flesh. Certainly not in my flesh. I'd rather not. Anyway, this one's pretty easy. We're gonna put him in worse than Epstein just so we can have somebody in worse than Epstein for now. I'm gonna save a couple of these stories for last. Yeah, there's a couple of these guys that definitely could be CTE demon category here, or worse than Epstein, that might be friends here with Diddy Watson. But I think this one is self-explanatory. I said it in the first video. In case you don't know, he has 26 masseuses at massage parlors that filed sexual assault allegation and claims against him, whatever you want to call it, whatever the legal terms are for it. I couldn't fucking care less. But yeah, basically he's got a bunch of sexual assault allegations, and we're not talking about 1 or 2 like Tucker. Obviously they couldn't prove that he did it, so he still actually has a job. He may very well start for the Browns this year, but when you have 26, that's a few more than 1 or 2. That's not just collusion. That is somebody that very much did it, and that, at least in my mind, is pretty fucking obvious. All right, to make this easier for myself, we're gonna go, I have this article open already, so we're gonna go right into Mr. Robert Rogier. That's this guy over here, Robert Rogier. Now, again, I didn't know who this guy was, but this guy's certainly a candidate for worse than Epstein, and let me explain. So after his career, so certainly a CTE demon in and of himself, he was arrested for a series of petty crimes, so that could be, CTE demon level stuff, but nothing serious. He was later released, but after his release, he found Yahweh Ben Yahweh's Temple of Love, which, if you guys don't know what it is, it's basically like a KKK group for like black people, so it's really bad. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I guess obviously like there's always going to be like extremists on both sides, so I guess that should be a lesson to you folks listening at home that, no matter who you are, there will be bad people at either end of the spectrum, so try to live somewhere in the middle. Try not to be extremist to either side. But anyway, he joined that secret group called the Brotherhood, and his initiation task was to unalive a white person, basically, and he unalived a white person, and he was arrested for it. Obviously, he was caught, thankfully. He later admitted to killing 7 white people. Sorry, unaliving. He later admitted to unaliving 7 white people, and I don't know what his sentence is, but I'm guessing it's a life sentence, considering he unalived 7 people. It's pretty fucked up. He's definitely a CTE demon. I don't know if he's worse than Epstein, because these aren't like sex crimes. It's like kind of like I'm kind of reserving the worse than Epstein for like sex crimes. And there's definitely some other like CTE demons in here. I don't know. I'm gonna put him in worse than Epstein, because like, goddamn, buddy, like we are in the shitter with this kind of stuff. Like, what the fuck are we doing? But definitely could also go in CTE demon, but he's a bit of both. He definitely deserves the CTE. Like, you don't do a lot of that shit. Like, honestly, no normal person is gonna do that. I think that CTE definitely plays a factor when people go and do that kind of stuff, especially athletes, NFL players go and do that kind of stuff. It's really sad to see, and that is no joking matter, be that CTE stuff, because we don't want, I don't want to see Antonio Brown in 10 years go do some fuck shit like that. All that being said, he is a really, really messed up person, and we're going to put him in worse than Epstein. Next up is Mr. Aaron Hernandez, and he is another killer in the NFL. Basically, he unalived his fiance's sister's boyfriend at the time. And there was lots of evidence, and he was sentenced to life in prison. He has been obviously in prison ever since, and the Patriots released him like 2 hours later. It is crazy to think that he played on the same team as Rob Gronkowski, and the Patriots could have had both Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski had Aaron Hernandez not gone off the deep end. I do think, again, CTE probably played a little bit of a factor in this one. It's just one unalivened, so I'm not going to put him in the worse than Epstein category. However, I am going to put him in the CTE demon category because he is a pretty terrible person and made a pretty terrible decision that I think CTE definitely played a big factor in. So for that reason, that's kind of the reason he's one of the people that definitely made me create this CTE demon tier or CTE demon tier. Next up, we got Ray Lewis. Again, I think this was something at the end of the career or after his career, so you can kind of see where I'm going to go with this. But basically, the story is that outside of a nightclub, 2 people were stabbed fatally, and Ray Lewis was involved. He was charged with the murder of these 2 people, along with a couple of accomplices. However, he was later acquitted of these charges. He was only charged with obstruction of justice and fined $250,000 at the time. Keep in mind, this is like mid-2000s, so $250,000 is a huge fucking fine from the NFL for conduct detrimental to the league. But yeah, he was not charged with any of this. However, clearly he had some involvement in this, and his mind probably wasn't right. So I'm also going to put them, I want to put him in CTE demon. However, he hasn't done anything else, so I'm going to put him in the can't prove it tier. There's a couple other people that I think, or well, we have 2 left, and one of them may or may not join him. Now, the next person is the most infamous person that I'm sure you've all been waiting for me to get to him. It's Mr. O.J. Simpson. Now, if you live under a rock and don't know about the white Bronco, apparently I was just talking about this while talking to my dad about making this video last night. And he was like, yeah, like when I was a kid, I was watching TV, and I remember that there was this white Bronco that interrupted this entire news chase. And he didn't watch the NFL at the time. He didn't even know who O.J. Simpson was. But it made national news because this white Bronco was being pursued in the lowest speed chase of all time by the police. And he was being charged with the murder, I think, of his wife and his daughter as well, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if the daughter was in there. Definitely his wife, though. The whole story is that eventually he was acquitted, and he was like one of the first like black dudes to not actually be charged with the murder. So even though he very much probably did it, it's a very controversial story depending who you ask. I don't think it should be controversial. I think facts are, I mean, he probably fucking did it. But that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to decide where he belongs on our tier list. He obviously did it. We can't prove it. So he either belongs in CTE demon because obviously some CTE got to him, or the can't prove it tier. And I'm really, really torn on this one. Same with the Ray Lewis one. See, Ray Lewis, I guess you can't prove it because he was acquitted of the charges, but so was O.J. Simpson. But damn, he might be a CTE demon. This one is really, really hard. But because I know where I'm putting the next person, I'm actually going to put O.J. Simpson in the can't prove it. However, he definitely belongs at the top of the can't prove it tier list. I'm actually going to move Ray Lewis down to the innocent tier list. Now that I think of it, he does belong in the innocent tier list. I mean, did he have obstruction of justice and get fined by the league? Sure, but he was acquitted of his charges. And I guess it's good that I included him in this video for that purpose. But yeah, I think I have a pretty even tier, and we will move on now to the final subject. Finally, last and definitely not least, this one's a pretty intriguing story. we have Ray Rice. Now, you probably know who he is. He's one of the more infamous criminals. In case you don't, basically, he was charged with the assault of his girlfriend at the time outside of a casino. It was a pretty gruesome and vicious attack. In 2014, a video surfaced of him aggressively assaulting his girlfriend and dragging her out of an elevator unconscious, and he was charged with simple assault. I don't know how that's simple assault. That sounds like aggravated assault, but I guess not if it's just with your fists. But anyway, he definitely did serve the time for this, and the NFL suspended him immediately and he was terminated. He was released from the Ravens. All that being said, Rice did not play another snap of football after the incident. I'm not sure what he's doing today. I don't really give a flying fuck, but he belongs in the CTE demon tier list because that is some CTE behavior to just beat the fuck out of somebody, especially your girlfriend, randomly. It's some NFL player behavior, if you know what I mean. The culture surrounding the NFL has a lot of problems with domestic violence, which I think we kind of covered in the last video. I wanted to move away a little bit from the domestic violence and move more into like just sheer like people that have been arrested or, you know, probably should have been arrested for what they did. I hope you guys enjoy these kind of videos. I certainly enjoy making these kind of videos. They're a lot of fun to like learn about these people. If you guys want a part 3, like I said, just leave a like. Tell me you want a part 3 in the comments, subscribe, all those things. They tell me you guys want to see more of this kind of content, and I hope I am providing the kind of content you guys want to see. Let me know what you guys think about the tier list in the comments down below. I certainly think it's pretty accurate. I think the 2 worse than Epstein definitely do fit worse than Epstein. The CTE demons are very much CTE demons. The he did it's are very much he did it, and can't prove it. Well, the glove didn't fit. And I'm honestly sorry for including Ray Lewis in this video, but you know, oh well. Like I said, leave a like, subscribe. I hope you guys are all doing amazing. I really appreciate all the support you guys have given me. It truly does mean the world to me. But anyway, I won't take more of your time. I appreciate it if you're still watching. I hope you guys have an amazing day. See ya in the next video.